And yes, this is episode 2 or episode 6 if you've been following me from 2 years ago. Whatever the hell, this is a good one, man. This is a real good one. Shout out to my boy Kuts, Sean. He used to work at the company that I'm talking about. So this story is going to resonate really well with him because he's going to remember this. And I'm going to tell a story that he probably hasn't heard in a long time. But I got to tell you, I've told a few people. My cousin pretty much knows this story. But he hasn't heard this story. I don't think I've ever told him after the fact that happened. I think we never talked about it after this. But you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. If you're new to this channel, Facebook, man, go ahead and like, subscribe, whatever, because I do more than this. I play a terrible game called Madden, and it really drains my energy and really makes me just think about life. And I hate the game so much. So if you like that, want to see me raging and playing Madden, getting cheated, go ahead and keep watching. And I got another story time I'm coming on pull up for my people that's pretty much gonna tell you why I started doing this computer, internet, everything, just being in the entertainment type thing. It all has to do with it's got to do with the internet, websites back in the day, Comedianaire, his website, bunch of Texas rappers, Power Walk, Comedian, Slim Thug, bunch of local titles. Pretty much, it's gonna be something kind of how I started in the music business to how I was one of the most popular things on the internet. Well, and how me and Comedian had come to everything. I'll tell you that story. If you're still there, if you're watching for this, stick around and check that one out too. So this I'm moving it up a little bit on this story because I just want to tell this and this because I see people that know that used to work with the company. They know all the crazy stories, and I was like, oh, I know I got some stories about me or whatever. So that's why I want to make a few. Then I might just go through the timeline again. So because what I really want to do is have it to a point where we could make it like, dude, we can start doing like, remember how Dave Chappelle did the Hollywood stories with Charlie Murphy, and he would tell a story and they had an actual acting scene in the background while he's telling the story. Like, I could get y'all to come out here wherever and we could tell the story, then we could reenact the story, reenact the scene with actors and stuff. I'm telling you, this thing would be perfect because we've always talked about this damn company, and everything we did here was like a damn movie. Like, literally, it was a movie. All these stories we got, everybody got stories. So we're gonna try to get something going there, but let's get into it, man. So this is called Wild Night in Little Rock. Wild Night in Little Rock. So this is one of the days we went to Little Rock, Arkansas, and usually Little Rock was a pretty good place to be when we would go. It was always nice. We always stay somewhere inside the city, and we had a place to eat and everything. So it was always great. Everything. So at this point in time, I was working. We had an Arkansas crew, and we had Arkansas crew, the Texas crew, which is us. Dallas was gone, and Shreveport, I think they had like 2-3 vans, whatever. And I think we had some Texarkana, maybe a few, but I'm not for sure. I think they was gone, but for sure, that was what we were working with, right? So at this point in time, I was rooming with my roommate. This time was dude named Sean. You see if I'm still recording. Okay, I'm just there to check that. So I was roommating with this guy named Sean, aka y'all know him as Kuts. Y'all from Facebook, y'all already know him as Kuts and everything. So I think the first time I roomed with him, most of the people I roomed with, once I know we in the music and rapping, most of the guys I knew was in the music and rapping, pretty much. Jason, Jamerlin, I think even Colton, me and him roomed for a minute. Another guy, JP's homeboy. Pretty much everybody I knew was either rapping or into it or produced or did something. So that's how most of us always clicked with that, right? So right before we go into the other story, me and Sean was talking about, I was telling him how I did this music and I showed him my music and everything, and me and my cousin was putting together this little album. And I think at this time, Mike, if you listen to my, I think you had not came yet. You was on the way around this time, but we did make that album. And so this is around the time we was making that album, going to your house to record. I'm dragging this big ass box computer that I had this computer, y'all, for like 10 years. Like I didn't have to, everybody else had upgraded their computer and stuff. I was so good at fixing computers, that I had this computer, and I could, whatever was wrong with it, I would fix it, find a way or something, and I would fix it. And it would just keep going and going. It literally, finally, I don't even think it just broke down. I just stopped using it. But I was so good at fixing it. Y'all want me to fix your computer, I'm gonna charge you a big fee. But I can still fix you. You got something wrong with your computer, something happened, you don't know the internet, I'm the dude, but I'm not doing it for free no more. But so we would do that, right? And I would bring my stuff. So my cousin would call, hey, so let's bring the studio, let's go record. I'm like, damn, and I gotta get up, unhook this stuff, go to Mike. Mike had the perfect spot because his mom wasn't like there most, so it was always just us there. So we didn't have no noise in the background or nothing. We had this quietness so we could record. So we would always go to Mike's house. And so we recorded some songs. We recorded this song called "Play It Like Me," which is one of the greatest songs we ever did. That's the big jam. I still got the song. If y'all want to hear that, I think I can upload it. It's on that Piff, but it's not in the best quality. I think, yeah, well, that was the only one that's in the best quality that you can hear. So I can some kind of way download it and let y'all hear that. But so we're doing that. So we're working on that, and me and my cousin was doing shows. It was we would maybe pay a guy $50 or something to go perform somewhere. We went to Texarkana one day, performed with what was the guy? Trey the Truth and everything. And Trey had got the watches and stuff, and he liked our stuff, and the crowd we had the best show. That was our best show ever, right? But this turned into the worst show ever that we ended up. So what happened was, now to go back to Sean, me and him was talking about, I was like, yeah, I got this album, and he was always talking, man, you need to bring me with you, man. I can be your hype, man. I can do this, I can do this. Like, okay, man. We'll see then. I got this show coming up in Zwolle, Louisiana. Come on out. We're gonna do the show. It's with K Reno. Shout out to K Reno. He's on. I just tagged K Reno on this too. He's on my Facebook thing. Yeah, it was his show, right? So he was the headliner, and so he kept telling me, yeah, man, I'm telling you, right, you need to go ahead and bring me with you. So I said, okay, this is the day. It was like a Saturday or something. We went up there. It's like a 2-hour drive. We getting out there, right? We driving out there. We driving. It's like Zwolle is a little bit past Lufkin, if y'all don't know where that's at. Kind of like going towards Houston area. Make a left to the right out the border of Louisiana. So we was doing that. We was driving. We was working on this. We was listening to our stuff the whole time. The whole ride there, we were pretty much listening to our stuff. And most of my cousin like to listen to himself, listen to the song and stuff to get right while we get to the show. And so he would put everything he did on CDs. So even stuff he would not be finished, just anything. After we get done rehearsing, whatever we was doing, recording up with Mike, he like put that on the CD for me. It would be anything, whatever it was something bad. He had this song he was working on. He was doing some singing, like some real terrible singing, right? And he said, put that on CD, man. We'll work on it later. I'll work on it later. So we would do that, right? He was like, telling me, man, you need to label them CDs so you won't put the wrong thing, like, you know, because I'm good at remembering where stuff is used to. So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna need it, man. I'm telling you need to put them things on CDs. So we getting ready. I told Sean, we come on out. He's like, yeah. So we ride, me, Sean, and my cousin, Squirrel. We ride to Zwolle, Louisiana. We get there. We sit in the parking lot for a minute, and my cousin's sitting around. There's this guy next to us riding a Bronco, and he's sitting there in the front seat. He just kind of just sitting there. And my cousin on the window, like, man, hey, man, you know what's do you know where to go to have like the club or something? What's that right now? It's still a little small town. He's like, nah, I don't know. I ain't from around here, man. I'm from Houston. And as he's talking, I'm like, heard the voice. I never really seen K Reno at the point, but I heard the voice, and I'm like, that's K Reno. So I'm just sitting there listening to them talking. They like, yeah, these chopping. Like, yo, you know Zero? And they like, yeah. K Reno like, yeah, man. I know Zero since he was a little boy. He's like, I was raising him like he's my little son. Like, oh, for real, la la la. And he started talking, all right, man, what's this in the show? We found he was performing. I'm like, hey, man, that's K Reno you was talking to. My girl like, for real? Like, yeah, that's K Reno. And so we already walked out and walked outside and got ready to go inside to do our little show. So we get to do our show, and it's looking cool. And then we get inside this place. It's like a event center or something, like a what's that thing called? A lot of them got it in the towns, RF Lounge or Legion Hall or something like that. Y'all pretty much seen them. So we in there. Some other guys performing. There's some white guy that came through, had this. I think this white dude had this song. It was kind of jamming, but there was just one guy. This dude was like from here, from that town and stuff. And he came out. He doing his rapping. He had this do-rag on his head, right? And he's like, at one point, he just starts out in the show. Hey man, y'all want me to take this do-rag off? Y'all want to take this do-rag off? I'm like, yeah, okay. Cause we just laugh at this nigga. And he takes it off. This nigga had like hair. This nigga's hair was like out there. This nappy as hell. Like picture Colin Kaepernick afro, but this nappier and wilder. He took it off like niggas like we were supposed to be wild about or something. Like, the word of women. I like, you're like, man, it's some weird ass niggas up here, right? So we get to do our show, right? Our shit comes up. We ready. We already done rock the stage in Texarkana, so we good. We know we can come out this show. We get on stage and we getting ready to rap. And all of a sudden, the DJ presses play. And all of a sudden, the wrong song plays. Remember I told you my cousin was working on a song where he was singing some bad singing? Well, all of a sudden, it starts off as just a beat. You can hear it, so we already knew it was stereo. It started like some piano stuff. And since I heard that, we keep playing it. We got to where he didn't get to the point where he started singing, so we got there. Since I heard that, we like, oh, damn, my heart dropped. Like, and we like, no, that's the wrong CD. That's the wrong CD. That's the wrong song. We make him stop it. Bow. I told the DJ, we gotta go back. I gotta get the CD. And now I'm like, damn, is the CD in the car or Cause we had a bucket of CDs. So I'm gonna find this fucking CD, but I believe it was in the CD player. And I took the wrong one somehow. And as I said, we should have labeled it. My cousin said. So I walk outside. I had to walk outside in front of everybody. All the crowd is waiting for us to come back to bring this CD. So I had to walk out off the stage, go out there, and my cousin and Sean is standing there. I don't know what they was doing. So I have never noticed. I never asked what happened. But I don't know what they're doing on stage. I don't know if they're talking. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But I go to get the CD. So I go get the CD. I make sure it's the right one. I say, okay, bam. I give the dude the CD, and they start clapping like we're retarded kids. They people cry like, oh, okay, it's okay, y'all. I'm like, damn, boy, this is embarrassing. So we start the show. We getting up, bam. We rocking the stage. We trying to do our show. Sit on the back of her head. We already know it's gonna be a bad show. And we doing our stuff. I'm rapping and stuff. And I look over to my, what was it? The stage is me right here. If I'm standing this way, Sean is to my right. So I'm looking over to see Sean. And Sean has the microphone. He had the microphone the whole time. And he was like this. He was standing with his microphone like this, right? Just kind of standing with the microphone. And I'm like, okay, he gonna do something in a minute. Maybe he's waiting for a player like me. Cause he don't know these songs right here. These first few songs, he don't really know these. So we doing our show. Still, John was just still doing that. He just stand there. And then we get back. We get the player like me. By the time we get the player like me, I had this 903 chain that I had. It was a great chain. This 903 chain that I had, it was somehow, I don't know what the hell. I had it where sometimes it would like, it was hooked on this loop, but it would like come loose. Or sometimes it would like, the links of it was so like cheap, it could break. But this time, I think this one, it broke on one side. And as I moved around the show, I see that. I'm like, oh shit. And now our best song is coming up next. And my chain is broken. I'm like, I can't walk around looking for the blow channel. I want to take it off and look like damn, this nigga got a fake ass chain. He's taking so I'm kind of standing behind my cousin some kind of way. I don't know how. I'm telling you, I don't know how I did this, but I'm standing behind my cousin, doing the rapping. As I'm doing it, I'm still looking at Sean, who just has the microphone, and it's saying like this, and Pair Like Me starts, and I'm doing it, and we got to rap Mike's part because Mike isn't there. Mike didn't come and everything. We actually hear like was he getting paid for? He didn't come. So as we rapping Mike's part. No, Mike's part's last. So we had my squirrel's part come up first, my cousin part. Then my part comes second, and Mike's is last. So we did the whole song with this song. It's kind of weird when the mic isn't there with it. When somebody isn't there and you gotta do their part on the song, it's kind of weird. So as I'm still behind my cousin, kind of behind them, kind of where they can't see my chain. I don't know how. I'll tell you, I don't know how the hell I did it at this day, but I did that. And it's still Sean just stood there with nothing. And we got off that stage and like, man, we like, nigga, that was the worst show we had. We was mad, we was embarrassed. But everybody was like, damn. The song was the song still rocked the crowd. That Play Like Me. Once it came on, the women was like, hey. And that's what kind of saved it kind of for us. But K Reno had seen us and he said it was a great show. And he liked it because my cousin had seen him at a hotel. Like, we left him in Lufkin and K Reno was staying in Lufkin at a hotel. Because my cousin knew a chick there, so they ended up talking and exchanging numbers and stuff. And so that's why it happened. So that's something. Now at that point, me and Sean been roommates. We already did that, so we did that. So like I said, we never really talked much about it because it was a bad show. But that's what happened, Sean. I know you probably never heard that story about what we thought about that or anything, but or you might even forgot it, but remember, there's a picture of you. There's a picture on Facebook, MySpace. The dude who did the show. I don't know if I can still find it, but there's a picture of us standing on stage, and you're standing with that mic, just like this. It's a picture. I saw the picture. I wish I would have saved it, but it's a picture of us and on the internet floating around with the microphone. So at this point, we did, like I said, we did that. Me and Sean, would still like he would we still be talking about music and stuff, and he had some stuff he was doing and everything, so it was cool. And one thing about him now, at the job wise, one thing about Sean was this dude would take his bag. He had like an army bag, and this guy, he's from California too. And another thing about California, for some reason I just have the feeling like when I was younger, I used to like I know everybody jamming school and stuff, but I was always into the Cali music like Dre, Warren G, Tupac, Snoop, all these guys. Nate, I was always like into like Cali music. I kind of felt like I was from kind of like a Cali vibe, like because I was always like into this LA and all that. I just always into that type of environment up there and the music over there and everybody. And most of the dudes I like who rap were from around there. A lot of dudes I listened to before. What's the guy back in my head? Cricket Eye, like guys like that and everything. So like Dave Keller, but he would take his bag, right? And this bag would have like a bunch of clothes in it, a bunch of shoes. This bag was so big, he would take up a space in the van. His bag had a space in the van. This nigga had bag, shoes everywhere. He would always take everything. Cause he like, man, you never know where we're gonna be at, man. I might want to go somewhere to go out or something. And sure enough, he knew somebody somewhere. He would go somewhere. Like literally, we went to like Memphis one day. He went to Memphis with some friends he knew, because we was somewhere in Mississippi where it was close to Memphis. He went out like the whole night, and he still got up at work. Well, I don't think he got up, and he did get up that night. He's probably still drunk or whatever, but he got back at like 2, 3 in the morning to get back to work. We was leaving like to get back to work, to get on the van and leave and go to work. Like, so like that's what he would do. He would go out places and stuff sometimes, cause he like, hell, we out every week. We just going out to different places, nigga. Go out, have fun. Like literally, like I got some New Orleans stories that I can tell in a minute. Not a minute, but later down the road. So That's what he would say. He would bring this big ass bag, right? And so one day we went to Little Rock though. One day we was going to Little Rock, and he, like I said, the same guys he went to with the Memphis with, they was in Little Rock, so it was close to. That was close enough for him to come, so they came down to Little Rock. And like I said, we was in the room, and they came through. They was drinking a little bit, talking, chilling. It was two dudes. I don't even remember these dudes' names or nothing. I just remember they was pretty cool dudes, right? So we sitting right here at the hotel, just chilling and talking or whatever. And these dudes come up, me like, man, we finna go out tonight. John like, yeah, man, we finna go out tonight. I usually don't go nowhere. I kind of stay at the room. But like, man, right, you gonna come this time? Come on with it. I said, all right. So fuck it, I'm gonna come with y'all this time. So I'm coming. So by the nighttime fall, we getting ready to head out and go to Little Rock. As you can see on the background of the screen, this is Little Rock, Arkansas, and downtown. So we're kind of staying close to downtown, where the hotel we was at. So wasn't a far drive. So we finally get out, and then I think Sean was driving at one point, but we driving downtown. We went to Summer's place, somewhere we was doing some shit, and we went somewhere downtown, and we was parking somewhere. We're finna go to this club or something. We didn't get to go in or something, and like literally, he was like hanging out the window, talking to people, talking to women, and saying shit to people that's all kind of crazy. Like, damn, y'all niggas finna get shot. Like these dudes is just. Well, I'm just in the back like, damn. I think this niggas was driving wild too, like flying and stuff. I'm in the back like, man, what the hell I done got myself into? So, man, it's like 8 o'clock. It's like 6, 7, 8 o'clock maybe at night, right? When we start this drive tonight. And this time we just riding around, finding liquor stores to go to, right? I don't drink, but, and all of a sudden, as I'm riding, I see this sign, billboard, and I look up, and this is some nigga named, I don't remember this dude name, but it was a rapper guy, right? And first time I ever seen a guy put advertise his trash music on the billboard. And I looked at it like, damn, I wonder who this dude is. This nigga, but like most of these local guys, that's what I mean. You talking about SoundCloud rapper stuff? I think he had like some type of a SoundCloud page or something where it's smart, but he's the one that he had his own billboard to advertise, like, y'all listen to my music, whatever. And I thought that was funny. And so at one point we riding, it's about 10 o'clock. He's like, oh, hey, let's go to a strip club. So all right, damn, we're going to the strip club. We find one, and we get to this strip club, and this strip club, we walk in this strip club. This got the most ratchet, ghettoest strip club I ever seen in my life. We walk in this strip club, and we probably went in there for like 15 minutes. The women in there look so bad. They looked like these women was in here with damn fucking shorts on, and like these women look like they just lived there. Like these women were just t-shirts and shit. Like I'm telling you, these women was like just in there, just like, what the fuck, where we here? And we sitting there like, damn, what is this? And we like, man, we sat there for a minute. We're like, man, we ready to go. Like, yeah, we ready to go. We talked about that for a minute, about how these hoes in the strip club, that strip club was trash, right? Like literally, the women that was stripping on the floor, they wouldn't even. I didn't get turned on by none of the women that didn't look good at all to me. Maybe one, I don't remember. I remember it was really bad, right? So we do that. We went to a strip club. We done rode around. We riding around, yelling out the window. These dudes. They went to this trash strip club. The dude who I think one of his Sean's friends paid us to get in, or something. He knew somebody or something like that. So we didn't have to pay nothing to get in there. I didn't. Me and Sean didn't. But the dude, they was, they had the fucking money, so he didn't. What the fuck happened? So then we got to this day. He like, well, shit, there's this club around there called, so I don't know what it was called, but let's go there. So we roll up in there, we riding through there, and we see this. I think this place was kind of packed. And we like, y'all really want to go in there? I didn't want to go in. Like I said, I don't like going places like that, but we sitting there. At some point, we got close to going there, but we didn't go in there. But we said, man, let's hang around the parking lot. We can hang out in the parking lot or something, find some holes or something. And we finally just shipped up out of there. And at this time, we still, it was just riding around, stopping places. Just, it was a pretty good damn time. But it was at the point in time we was out, like we didn't know where, I've never been in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I didn't really know what the hell going around and who to be around, what part of town was good, what was bad. But y'all heard our stories about it. But we sitting there and I'm like, damn, it's getting late. And so I think we had to be up like 4. I think 4 or 5. We probably got back at like 3, 2 something, or 3, finally. And that's why I remember we finally left and went back to the hotel. And that's how, like I said, Sean had got so drunk and drinking and everything from the ride and from the club, from wherever. He would stop. I think we stopped and got drink for like bunch of times. Stop at the gas station, go get some drink, ride around some more. So we get back to the room, and they stay in there too. So they kind of on the floor or whatever. And Sean just out drunk, and that's when I heard. Was it the first one? I think, yeah. This is when he got back, he was like drunk. He's sitting in the room chilling a lot, and he just passed out. Everybody passed out, and it was time to get up for work, right? Time to get up for work, and this nigga was not getting up. He was not getting up at all. And I think, this is when he came. This is before that happened. This is when I knew. I was like, damn, he must have. We had this chick named Ashley there, and this chick named Simone. Remember I told y'all about those two, I think. So, Ashley and Simone, remember now. I told y'all about Uncle Ricky. Uncle Ricky used to be the old man trying to get the young women right. So Ashley and Uncle Ricky used to mess around. I don't know if they did or Uncle Ricky was just giving her money. But Uncle Ricky was doing something right. So, as Sean is drunk, he lay in the bed like, go get Ashley and stuff. That's when I first heard him say her, like, what the fuck? And so I was like, damn, Sean banging out Ashley. Because I used to hear him, he used to flirt, kind of this, like, talking, flirt with her, like, I could tell. But he called her name, like, hey, get Ashley here. Like, I didn't know he was talking to her like that. That's when I was like, damn. He getting nasty now. Hell, maybe even Simone too. I guess I'd get him on the show to tell him about that. But for sure, I know Ashley for sure. And that's when I was like, when he heard he was drunk that night before we got back and called her name, but she never came. Did she come? I think she did. I think she did come to the room and say something to him or whatever. But I don't remember. I think she did. I think she didn't. I don't remember seeing her. I remember hearing her name, but I remember that the way. It was more, I mean, it's a long time, but I know that it was from the point where, like, when he was talking about it and stuff, that I knew, yeah, he banging Ashley, Uncle Ricky doing whatever he doing, but she really wants Sean, right? That's when I knew that shit. So it was coming to the night where we was getting ready to go to work, and we had to go to work, and he couldn't get up. We tried to wake him up. I tried to wake him up. He's just laying in the bed. Jen came over. Even Jen, she came over to the room, tried to wake him up. And he's like, tell him I got lost or something. Tell him something he said. And she's like, man, he still wouldn't get up. Man, he was so out of there. He was so wasted that he was like, man, forget it. I ain't coming out. Fuck it. I ain't going to work. So I'm trying like, damn, nigga, you gonna get fired if you don't get up. And sure enough, this was around Pete was still around, I think, too. And sure enough, man, he was like, hey, we gave him a chance. We kept going further, and we had to leave. And we got to work, and then we left this nigga at the hotel, right? And he eventually came back. Somebody went to get him, but it was like, yeah, that was my last day, because he didn't show up to work. Didn't show up. He got so drunk. He didn't show up, and DB I think DB was over them at the time. DB was the big boss. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. DB, like I said, y'all, DB was messing around with all these women and stuff. Hell, DB might have damn had ass too. But it was a point in time when at DB and Sean, we was counting right. DB would count with us sometime, and he was on one side of the aisle and he was on the other side of the aisle. You know, Sean passing about his Lakers and stuff, he's from Cali. So we was talking about the Lakers, and I think they was talking about the sports and stuff, and Sean was talking about the Lakers, and DB was talking about the Lakers, how they bad. I believe Kobe was still with us, and he was still playing around this time or on his last year or something, and they wasn't that good. And he said something to the boy, but he got real, like Sean was passing by his Lakers, and this nigga got up, walked around to where DB was counting, and like, what you say about, like, he's gonna get ready to fight this dude over the Lakers, and this is the boss, right? This is the boss man. He like, DB kind of laughed like, man, nah, he said nothing, la la la. And Sean went back. Now this is the night. Now actually, that was part of the night. That was the night he went to Memphis, I think, and came back. I think he was still drunk that day. He had to be. He was still drunk, and Jen knew it, and she came and got him and pulled him back. So yeah, Sean would go out and get wasted a lot, and so yeah, but he didn't get the one off Love in Little Rock. He ended up getting fired, and they wouldn't let him back. And I'm like, damn, my boy Sean gone now. So after that happened, I think that's when Chamberlain came around in that room with him. I think, or it would have been Colton, or was it Jason? Or Jason came back. But it was a few different roommates. But yeah, that was what happened in the wild, wild night in Little Rock. The worst strip club I ever seen in my life. The worst rap show we ever had that he came to, and that was what happened with that. And after Sean, he got fired and everything. I never saw him for a long time, till a few years ago. Was I see him now? He does his barbershop and stuff. It's Cali Kuts. If y'all want to check him out, if y'all in the town, or if y'all come to Texas, or y'all already know who he is, Cali Kuts, KALIKUTS. Check him out on Facebook. Check him out. He does real good work. If you go look at my picture, my profile picture, I think my profile picture on Facebook is the haircut he gave me. That literally he did my hair that. So check him out there, man. Wis Stories, man. That's just a few, and like I said, we got some more coming up. We probably gotta go live. We was talking about that. He was talking about going live to because I'm telling you, we got so much stuff. I want to bring the people that's actually in these stores. They know them better than I do. So especially Sean, I can bring him on. Like I said, she got some great stories. But you'll see some more people. You'll probably start seeing some more people going around. And shout out to Matt out there, if the crew that's still there, that's still doing the inventory thing. They listen to this stuff a lot. I didn't think a lot of people was listening like that, but y'all say it's interesting and funny. I try to make it as interesting and funny as hell, but that's what it is, man. We out to the next one. I still got to tell y'all about the stuff that happened when Jason cop blocked me with Nikki. So we got some of that going on. We'll talk about some fights that happened at the store. Some fights in the store. All the fights. I guess a lot of the fights. We're going to talk about those next time. And the night when I got stopped by the cops because of Jason. We'll talk about that too. And we out.